Good day. Greetings, stranger. I'm not surprised to see your kind here. Many adventurers have traveled this way since the recent troubles began. No doubt you've heard about the tragedy that befell the town of Tristram. Some say that Diablo, the Lord of Terror, walks the world again. I don't know if I believe that, but a dark wanderer did travel this route a few weeks ago. He was headed east to the mountain pass guarded by the rogue monastery. Maybe it's nothing, but evil seems to have trailed in his wake. You see, shortly after the wanderer went through, the monastery's gates to the pass were closed, and strange creatures began ravaging the countryside. Until it's safer outside the camp and the gates are reopened, I'll remain here with my caravan. I hope to leave for Lutka Lane before the shadow that fell over Tristram consumes us all. If you're still alive then, I'll take you along. You should talk to Ikara, too. She seems to be the leader of this camp. Maybe she can tell you more. Where can I take you? Geed is a wandering merchant of questionable character who is traveling along with my caravan to the east. He will buy and sell most anything. He's greedy, but his wares are beyond reproach. I would suggest keeping both eyes open when you deal with him.
Hi there, I'm Charcy, the blacksmith here in camp. It's good to see some strong adventurers around here. Many of our sisters fought bravely against Diablo when he first attacked the town of Tristram. They came back to us true veterans, bearing some really powerful items. Seems like their victory was short-lived, though. Most of them are now corrupted by Andariel. Oh, Kosh is fantastic. Sure, she's a little hard on outsiders, but who can blame her? All she wants is to protect our order. But now that our sisters have turned against us, I think this whole mess has hardened her heart. Yes?
Necromancer. I hoped I'd never have to lay my eyes on one of your kind again. The recent troubles in this area have brought out all kinds, I see. Nevertheless, your money's good. A spare weapon, some gold, a small gem is all I want in exchange for the equipment you'll need on whatever quest you might undertake. No, don't be shy. All of my items are guaranteed for life and come with a 2-day warranty. Andariel's demonic forces have taken up residence in the forest as well as the monastery. I won't be venturing out of the camp. So if you need anything, I'll be right here.
Welcome, Outlander, to our glorious hovel. I know you're here to challenge the evil that's driven us from our ancestral home. But know this. Akara may be our spiritual leader, but I command the rogues in battle. It will take more than just killing a few beasts in the wilderness to earn my trust. Geed is a pig. I've been tempted to throw him out of the camp many times. But Charcy seems to think that he's good company. I don't trust the man. But if she is comforted by him, then I'll desist. Geed is a pig.
Not in town. I can't do that here.
Good day.
I'll put that to good use. I'll put that to good use. I'll put that to good use.
I am Akara, High Priestess of the Sisterhood of the Sightless Eye. I welcome you, traveler, to our camp, but I'm afraid I can offer you but poor shelter within these rickety walls. You see, our ancient sisterhood has fallen under a strange curse. The mighty citadel, from which we have guarded the gates to the east for generations, has been corrupted by the evil demoness Andariel. I still can't believe it. But she turned many of our sister rogues against us and drove us from our ancestral home. Now the last defenders of the sisterhood are either dead or scattered throughout the wilderness. I implore you, stranger, please help us. Find a way to lift this terrible curse, and we will pledge our loyalty to you for all time. There is a place of great evil in the wilderness. Kasha's rogue scouts have informed me that a cave nearby is filled with shadowy creatures and horrors from beyond the grave. I fear that these creatures are massing for an attack against our encampment. If you are sincere about helping us, Find the dark labyrinth and destroy the foul beasts. May the Great Eye watch over you.
All who oppose me, beware. I sense death within this place. Is that enough to earn the rogue's trust?
You have cleansed the den of evil. You've earned my trust, and may yet restore my faith in humanity. The reward is training in the skill of your choice. To be honest, I have done my best to stay clear of Geed. He wears dishonesty about himself like a cloak. and seeks only to better his situation by preying on the misfortunes of others.
Good evening. My rogue scouts have just reported an abomination in the monastery graveyard. Apparently, Andariel is not content to take only our living. Bloodraven, one of our finest captains in the battle against Diablo at Tristram, was also one of the first to be corrupted by Andariel. Now you'll find her in the monastery graveyard, raising our dead as zombies. We cannot abide this defilement. If you are truly our ally, you will help us destroy her.
What can I do for you? You are truly brave and skillful. Akara was worried about you. Bloodraven was the leader of a rogue band that once fought Diablo at Tristram.
May I help you? The only good demon is a dead one, I say. By the way, did you happen to find anything in that cave you'd like to sell? I'm sorry. The undead are bad for trade. I have a strict no-return policy.
Good evening. That which does not kill you makes you stronger. How can one kill what is already dead?
Put that to good use. I'll put that to good use.
Beware, the evil is strong ahead. Take care, the corrupted rogues in the wilderness ahead are not to be trifled with.
many empty graves. Blood Raven. Rest well.
Greetings. Andariel must be made to pay for her sacrilege.
I can hardly believe that you've defeated Bloodraven. Though she was once my closest friend, I pray that her tortured spirit remains banished forever. You have earned my respect, stranger, and the allegiance of the rogues. I have placed several of my best warriors at your disposal. Good day.
Good day. Some of those gals weren't so nice the first time around.
Where can I take you? You've done well, stranger. I hope all your efforts are worth it.
And so it came to pass that the Countess, who once bathed in the rejuvenating blood of 100 virgins, was buried alive. And her castle, in which so many cruel deeds took place, fell rapidly into ruin. Rising over the buried dungeons in that god-forsaken wilderness, a solitary tower, like some monument to evil, is all that remains. The Countess's fortune was believed to be divided among the clergy, although some say that more remains unfound, still buried alongside the rotting skulls that bear mute witness to the inhumanity of the human creature.
It is clear that we are facing an evil difficult to comprehend, let alone combat. There is only one Haradrim sage, schooled in the most arcane history and lore, who could advise us. His name is Deckard Cain. You must go to Tristram and find him, my friend. I pray that he still lives.
Good day. Months ago, I came across a few survivors from Tristram. They said that Cain... Months ago, I came across a few survivors from Tristram. They said that Cain had gone half-mad and could no longer distinguish fact from fantasy. Rumors of treasure are no different from rumors of any other kind. They hold false promise to those who should know better.
Yes? The bark of Inifus holds mystical runes. Akara can translate them into our revenge. The tome speaks of treasure, yet all we have found are death, delirium, and disappointment.
What can I do for you? If you bring back the bark of Inifus, Akara will tell you how to get to Tristram. That old tower is as rotten on the inside as it appears on the outside. I heard that several sisters came to a gruesome end when a stairwell collapsed on them.
Hello? I would sooner micturate in a tankard of my own ale than journey to Tristram. The only wealth you're likely to find there is a wealth of vermin.
Months ago,
Very good. I have translated the runes on this scroll. You must find the cairn stones and touch them in the order that I have written.
Good to see you. I have heard that Tristram is now in ruins. Without Cain, I fear for the ruin of all of us. Akara, our priestess and seer, is most upset by the corruption of our sisters. I fear that she blames herself.
What you need? Guess what? I've named a boil on my ass after you. It too bothers me every time I sit down. I'm told that Tristram now resembles a meat hall after a barbarian wedding. I will wait here for your most glorious return.
Good evening.
that's left of proud Tristram are ghosts and ashes.
Deckard Cain, if you value your life, leave here immediately.
As a token of my gratitude, I will identify items for you at no charge. Regrettably, I could do nothing to prevent the disaster which devastated Tristram. It would appear that our greatest fears have come to pass. Diablo, the Lord of Terror, has once again been set loose upon the world. As you know, some time ago, Diablo was slain beneath Tristram, and when our hero emerged triumphant from the labyrinth beneath town, we held a grand celebration that lasted several days. Yet, as the weeks passed, our hero became increasingly aloof. He kept his distance from the rest of the townsfolk and seemed to lapse into a dark, brooding depression. I thought that perhaps his ordeal had been so disturbing that he simply could not put it out of his mind. The hero seemed more tormented every passing day. I remember he awoke many times, screaming in the night, always something about the East. One day he simply left, and shortly thereafter Tristram was attacked by legions of foul demons. Many were slain, and the demons left me to die in that cursed cage. I believe now that Tristram's hero was that dark wanderer who passed this way before the monastery fell. I fear even worse, my friend. I fear that Diablo has taken possession of the hero who sought to slay him. If true, Diablo will become more powerful than ever before. You must stop him, or all will be lost. You have quite a treasure there in that Horadric cube. According to Horadric lore, the cube can restore a Horadric staff. To do it, use the cube as you would a scroll. When the cube opens, place both pieces of the staff into it and use the cube's transmute power. You'll be pleased to know that the cube has other alchemical uses as well. 6 gems plus 1 sword transmute into a socketed longsword. You may also transmute 2 quivers of crossbow bolts into 1 quiver of arrows, while 2 quivers of arrows yield 1 quiver of bolts. I must leave it to you to discover other formulae.
You have risked your life to rescue Cain. For that we thank you. You must seek his counsel immediately. You have risked your life. You have risked your life to rescue Cain. For the Order welcomes you.
I can't use this yet. I can't use this yet. I can't use this yet.
When I fled the monastery, I left behind the Herodric Mallet, my enchanted smithing hammer. If you can retrieve it for me, I'll use its magic to strengthen your equipment.
Good day.
Put that to good use.
Good day.
Good evening. I've heard that you bear us no malice.
Where can I take you? Well, what better opportunity to show your mettle?
Greetings. The malice has eluded you so far. Well, search thoroughly in the barracks. That is where the rogues kept their forge. Quickly in and quickly out is all the advice I can give you.
Greetings. To do battle with Andariel requires more than thick skin and a strong will. You'll want armor and weaponry forged with the hammer's enchantments.
If you can't carry out this quest, how will you face the greater evils ahead?
This place reeks of death.
Here for a bloodbath?
Treasure hunting. Treasure finding. Yes.
Good evening. Well done, my friend. Courage and opportunity together have created in you a kind of alchemy.
The Sisterhood welcomes you. Your rewards are well earned. To us, the tower was nothing more than a headstone looming over a long-forgotten grave.
The Order welcomes you. I thought the stories of treasure in the tower were nothing but lies. I am glad you found something of value in that death trap. Would that our sisters had been so fortunate.
I'll put that to good use.
What can I do for you? Those riches will serve you well on the long road ahead.
what you need. Warreeve's advice is like corpse gas. It befouls the air for a moment, and then it disappears.
Good day. Remember, wealth is as insubstantial as a cloud and passes as quickly. Ignore Geed. All that twitters is not bald.
Yes?
This place has the stench of demons about it. this for a hammer? The slow torture of caged starvation.
Stay a while and listen.
Good day. Well done, my friend. But remember, return of the Herodric Malice is but one step in claiming the monastery.
Yes? Now that the Herodric Malice is back in our possession, we shall use it to deliver a great blow against the evil which torments this land.
The magical effects imbued by the malice are impossible to predict, but are always to the good.
much for returning the Herodric Malice. I will now imbue one of your items with magical powers.
Good day. I guess it's too late to take back some of the names I called you?
It is certain that we face the Demon Queen, Andariel, who has corrupted the rogue sisterhood and defiled their ancestral monastery. This does not bode well for us, my friend. Ancient Herodric texts record that Andariel and the other lesser evils once overthrew the three prime evils, Diablo, Mephisto, and Baal, banishing them from hell to our world. Here they caused mankind untold anguish and suffering before they were finally bound within the Soul Stones. Andariel's presence here could mean that the forces of hell are once again aligned behind Diablo and his brothers. If this is true, then I fear for us all. You must kill her before the monastery becomes a permanent outpost of hell, and the way east lost forever. The magical effects.
Andariel has desecrated all we hold dear. She must not be permitted to serve Diablo. Destroy her. The corruption of our order must be undone.
I can imagine 1,000 different ways to kill Andariel. You need only choose one.
Good evening. The map makers tell us the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Our way east is a line that runs through Andariel's stronghold, the monastery.
Good evening. Send Andariel back to the hell she came from.
going after Andariel? One of my wagon wheels is in need of repair. I'll be under the wagon, if I'm needed.
I sense a demonic presence here.
Greetings.
What you need?
I'll put that to good use. I'll put that to good use. I'll put that to good use.
The Order welcomes you. You have done much to help us. But I sense that this has only fueled Andariel's fury. She will not stop until we are all dead. You must kill Andariel before her army can gain the upper hand.
Record Kane has important information about Andariel.
Yes. It is clear that Andariel is acting on behalf of Diablo to prevent anyone from following him eastward. Her defeat would allow you to continue the pursuit. Ancient lore has it that while Andariel was spawned in the burning hells, she is not fond of fire.
Good day. May I remind you that my caravan can only go east if the monastery is cleansed.
Good day. If you are the hero that you seem to be, now is the time to prove it.
Hello? Have you stumbled upon that demon queen yet? I hear she's quite the beauty. As far as maidens of anguish go, that is.
to the hell that spawned you, Andariel.
This is a great victory indeed, but many more battles await. I will accompany you on your journey, lending what assistance I can. Remember, Diablo is still out there, seeking something in the desert. I'm afraid that this nightmare will not end until you find what it is that he seeks.
The caravan is prepared. We may now journey eastward to Loot Golain.
And Dariel's death brings about renewed life for us all. We mourn the loss of our dear sisters, but at least now we can get on with our lives. I may have misjudged you, Outlander. You are a true hero, and testament to the noble spirit which has inspired our order for generations. Farewell, my friend.
Finally, we may rejoice. We owe you a debt we can never repay. I only hope that in time, we will be able to rebuild our order. All our thanks go with you, my friend.
Put that to good use.
Good evening.
Greetings. You'll probably go east now. It was good to know you. I hope you'll come back if you ever need anything.
Let's deal, my friend. I'm gonna party like it's $9.99.
I can't use this yet. I can't use this yet.